because the people before them taught them to not question things. You're either to respond yes or no, never whys or how comes. So if you were told to shut up, you just did. You don't ask, why should I shut up? Why are you telling me to shut up? No. They don't even attempt, they were not even allowed, or they were not brought up to even attempt to defend themselves in certain situations. And so it's become a culture that the way to show that you're respectful is to cower, is to maybe suck it up. No questions asked. And if you so much as raise a brow to even indicate that you kind of like have a question in your heart somewhere, you're either termed stubborn or rebellious. Children received beatings for crying and complaining that they were being beaten too much. And then they will be beaten more because, beating you are talking. They will be beaten more. And then the ones that even did not cry were also beaten because it felt the people beating them would feel like, so you are looking at me like that. I'm sure you get what I'm saying, right? So this thing became a normal thing. It was just kept happening. More like cruelty even became an acceptable way of discipline. Even in homes where love seemed to be the way of life. So if a parent told a child to do something, you don't ask why. You just don't. You don't even try to negotiate and say, okay, I'll do it later. Like, how dare you? You have the guts to, child that I carried in my womb. And then, I don't know what the men say. So, I'm sure you get what I'm talking about, right? So I'm just trying to lay a foundation here. Now, some women were treated like subordinates, like they were nothing in their homes, because of that culture. They had husbands who were supposed to be partners with them, but would rather see them or treat them as if they were servants or nothing. And for the servants, no, those ones were slaves. Unless you want to go or you want to die, you can't question nothing. You're not even crazy enough to have an opinion. Like, who are you? Who born you? Where do you form? So some people would even say that we had a saner society. We had a society where people were respectful. There was some kind of caution, That's what it seemed like. But if you looked deep down, you find out that it was as if a lot of people, if not everyone, was zombied into line. With all of that going on, we had a culture where people just shut up. Evil will be happening and they will not talk. And they will be shut down. Why? Because an older person is involved. And so you're not allowed to express yourself, even when you were obviously being subdued. Now, the younger generation right now, they seem to know that they wield a certain power. And that power is that, first of all, I'm a human being. And as a human being, I'm entitled to some rights. And these rights are for everybody. So they acquire a lot of knowledge from school, from the media, mainstream, social media. There's just a lot available to them. So they're the ones who question almost everything. They ask the whys. They ask how come. They ask, why me? How about? All right. So back to the question I asked. Does it, let me find the word, apologies. So does it amount to disrespect if a younger person is being bold, even when they are being queried? So a child is asked to do something by the mom or the dad, and the child goes, I can't do it now. And then they go, what do you mean you can't do it now? and the child says, I have something else I'm doing, or I want to take a nap now, or I want to do this now so that I can do that later. Does it amount to rudeness? Being rude, disrespect? Well, let's hear from you. 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0002, or 0817 923 0007. Do I have a call screener? I want to know. All right. So do well to also send a message via WhatsApp to 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. And we are live on Facebook, so get on Facebook and let's hear from you. Nigeria Info Nights 2.3 PH. And then we are also on Instagram, so get on there as well and join the conversation. Are we on Threads yet? We'll let you know when we get on Threads. On Twitter, we're Nigeria Info PH. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Waterline area.
All right, Manuel. I'm listening.
Yeah. I will tell you that to an extent, it amounts to disrespect because we here, we have culture before we adapt to the development. No matter whatever we are, wherever we find ourselves, we still have to remember that we have a culture that we never let go of that. But when it comes to the environment where we are being a kind of treated in a way that doesn't show human heart, that's where we now say no. Because there's also how our culture handle a thing like that. Because I can remember before now, so many of us cannot dress the way we dress, even to leave our father's house. Even many of us can boldly say that my dad cannot look at you when you are dressing like this. But today, what are we seeing? Because we just barge into the development. Let me use the word development. And remember, even the people that came with this kind of lifestyle, they are still battling with the challenges. So now,
what lifestyle are you referring to?
I'm talking about dressing and grooming. Hello?
You're talking about dressing.
I say the last time I'm talking about is dressing and grooming.
That's the lifestyle you're talking about. Okay.
So
I'm listening.
For that, when you are being cautioned, first, you might want to accept, oh, I'm sorry. If anything wants to come up with, oh, I'm sorry, let me see what I will do. I will do this, I will do. But accept it first. The acceptance is what shows that you have respect and regard for your senior. And what he's telling you is beneficial to you. But when you want to prove that, yes, I know, but I will do this first, it has become a challenge.
All right. Thank you very much for calling.
So I think that's where the problem comes from there.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, my sister.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
I am Sao Kafo, and I'm calling from LLM.
All right. Please go on. I'm listening.
I think the problem where we got everything wrong this time around is this misculture. When I say misculture, the coming of people of various culture coming together to stay in a city has made people to lose sight of their own cultural background, where they come from. They tend to copy what they have seen in the town and not what they were trained with. I remember in those days, in growing up, you dare not leave your house without saying good morning to everybody in the house. You dare not even leave the compound without even sweeping your environment. These are the things we are taught in growing up. And today, a child is growing and then he should wake up in the morning, you wake up, oh, go and sweep. He said, no, I will sweep later. It's disrespectful. Why must he sweep later? Why have you not greeted people in the house? I didn't sleep well. Let me sleep well. After I wake up, then I'll consider when to greet. It's also disrespectful. In growing up, we never even call our seniors by their name. From where I come from, either we call you Dede, we call you Dada. We will never call you by your name because it is disrespectful. But today, what are we saying? Because we felt, because we have gone to town and see that other people's culture, who never care in calling people by their name, you borrow it and then think that all is the same. And then if you are growing, you think you're of age, because you're a human being, as you rightly said, and you're supposed to exercise your fundamental human rights. As long as you live in your parents' house, no matter your age, you still remain a child. And if you think you have grown, it is when you leave your parents' house, live on your own, then you can have your own freedom. But the fact that you live in your parents' house, being fed by your parents, being clothed and being housed, you must understand. Today we having issues in our restaurant because when they come to touch it, because the Igbo man will not proceed or the Igbo person will not proceed to greet your parents, the Igbo person after all only do it when we get to our area. But in the city where we find ourselves today, it's no longer necessary.
All right.
To me, we must go back to culture, irrespective of what we have copied from the city.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Zion, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Zion.
The truth is, we are Africans, and there is a mode of training us that looks different from others.
I think you should streamline this thing to we are Nigerians and not Africans, because...
No, if you want to use Nigerians, those other people from the African context, just like, but we are all the same now. Why are you talking about yourself alone?
Nah, because I've heard certain things that we practice in Nigeria that even some other people from other African countries find weird, like greeting people after you've eaten. People from Benin Republic think that you guys are crazy when you do that.
When we started adopting these foreign cultures and traditions, because of when parents stop training their children, not taking care of their children. This thing we are calling modern day culture and belief, let us be honest, it was an act of failure from a father or a mother not to take care of a child. There's now a reprobate act in the life of the child. They cannot control it. They now use another name. There is a modern day behavior. It's not true. There is a textual problem in the book of Matthew chapter 21. From verse 16, go and read it. When the father told the son, go and clear the vineyard, the son told him, I'm not going, no. But he later changed his mind and he went. He told the second, well, let me leave, that is not the whole thing. But what am I trying to tell you with this? As Africans, when your father is scolding you, the reason you should not speak so that you don't grow that kind of anger to talk back at him. He may not answer you if you talk back at him, but you are taking a seed in your heart to talk back at other person. From talking back at other person, you have grown to the point of even talking back at your wife or your husband. Why is so much anger in the street today? Why are so much toxic people on the streets today? People will not forgive you. People will not let go. Because of their father was talking, they are talking back. They are wrong, they are correcting them, they are trying to justify their wrong. And when they now hit the rock for their mistake, they now put it back to the society. Toxicity. That is why the African culture will categorically tell you, if your father is talking, don't talk. The essence of don't talk, not because you don't have a right, so that you don't exonerate yourself above your mistake and now think you are right to talk back. Do you know that most women today, where they got it wrong, even
all right. don't know what happened there, but thank you all the same for calling. All right, we're looking at the messages on Facebook. Ekemini and Niedi is not disrespect when being queried. It all depends when to speak and how. In this context is boldly. The when to speak part is the problem young people have in this generation. Maybe because of emotions. That is, they want to spill it all out now. So if they should pay attention to the when and how to speak, that would hold positive. And also if they seek guidance on these things. Thank you. All right, Festus Wogu says, good afternoon, Constance. As a Nigerian and African, young ones are not allowed to speak with boldness when they are being queried because it shows how disrespectful they are. The younger ones are expected to pipe low when they are being queried. So that's what I'm actually asking about. That's particular because I've heard some of my callers say the same thing, yeah, trying to hold on to that same thing. So I'm asking, is it really what makes it disrespectful? Why should I cower? Yes, I've done something wrong, but I'm expected to also respond. Now, even if a criminal is taken to court, right? I mean, that's why they're even taken to court. Oh, we caught him red-handed. See what he stole. See the people he killed. Oh, yeah. Duh, we're going to court. So when you get to court, he's expected to defend himself. Why aren't we also querying that particular culture? Why don't we say that, oh, it's not part of our culture for people to defend themselves? Because I'm sure it was also part of our culture. It's always been part of our culture. Someone has been, the person is brought before the whether traditional rulers or something, council, and they get to defend themselves, right? Plead if they need to plead. But I'm talking about you're being queried and you're expected to answer. And then by the time you answer, someone is not happy because you were bold to answer what you answered. You were bold to respond the way you did. So, who's this now? Stephen Ndubisi says no, but knowing when to show remorse is very key. How can you be bold when your actions are disgraceful? I think I like this one as well. It actually goes with the other person who says it is the when and the how that is the problem. So it's not necessarily that you were bold to speak boldly, to express yourself boldly, but the when, more like timing, is the problem. I actually have a second question right here. The second question, where is that? Nah, this is not it. The second question, yeah. Did you see boldness from a junior person as rudeness? Do you see, when a someone who is junior to you is being bold, do you think they are being rude? Is that how you see it? This is a personal question for you to answer me. And then as a parent, if you are a parent, would you rather have an outspoken child or a timid one? So you can just put all of these together and give me a response, all right? I'll get back to the phone lines in a bit. But let's see this particular message here on Facebook. Prince Annie says, Constance, it's like this post is pointing at me. I just had a similar case with my manager a few hours ago. She's the kind of person that no one dares reply when she speaks. But my own case is different. 90% of our staff fear her and totally avoid her problem. Me, I know they fear anybody. Be you who. I speak with boldness, even when I'm wrong, because I know that you cannot beat me. If you pay you, then you go to court. Really? Prince Annie? Wow. Dede Basti, I'll come back to your message. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. Do you see boldness from a junior person as rudeness? Now, this is not whether you are querying the person or not. I've actually been around people who just feel because you are junior, your mouth should not be strong. You should be talking with some kind of fear. So the moment you're bold, even if it's that you're boldly telling them what your name is, they just see you as this one. So do you see boldness from a junior person as rudeness? And then as a parent, would you rather have an outspoken child or a timid one? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the sunny side. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your name?
I have two daughters. These my two daughters. One, the smaller one, is too bold. In short, there's nothing you want to tell her, you want to ask her, or any issue around her that she will not want to give you excuse about it. And I have this first one that when you are talking to her, she will just calm down and wait for you when you are done and you ask her a question. She will clear the air. Now, we see the one who is always answering everybody. And sure, before you ask her anything that she did, you have already known what to answer you. Wow. Now, we have now see that, yes, you are bold. And it's good for you to be courageous. But you have to have patience. Calm down. When you get to the time to answer, you answer. And when we don't need your answer, we just need to correct you. Take it. On your own time, you can come and say, that thing, look at my reason and all that. And we still need to streamline you, need to still put you through. So it's not that we are depriving you your right to talk, but we are scolding you. You have to take the advice, swallow it. Then when you want to say what you want to say, it will be seasoned, understanding from where the scolding is coming from, and your correction you need to be taken. So I think that's the answer.
All right. But what's your name, though?
I'm the first caller, I'm Emmanuel.
Okay, Emmanuel. All right. Thank you very much for calling back. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. What's your name?
My name is Clement.
All right, Clement. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me take it to what you do in your house. You don't take it outside.
Okay.
I believe this is a popular quote. So, and of course, these things that we do in the house, if we cannot, control ourselves outside, then we will find ourselves maybe where we should not be. And I am very sure, for instance, even within your office there, I believe there are one or two persons maybe you would have asked us, is this how you do your thing, even in the house, you are bringing it to the public? Now, that's
I don't think I've had to ask anybody that.
No, you're not asking, as in you are saying it within you, your mind, So we all have these questions that we ask ourselves that we don't want the other person to know. We'll just keep it within ourselves. So we've been told that on several occasions. Now let's come back to school. Of course, the way teachers, principals attend to students now or pupils, that is not how that is not what it is in the past. Now we want to give children, the platform to speak, to talk, and say what is in their mind. And you hear them, because it is in hearing them that you can attend or solve their problem. Before, you don't need to talk. Accept it the way we have given you and shut up and go and sit down. That is how it is. But now those that understand that we are in the age where...
Okay, I have to let you go, Clemens. I've got commercials coming up. Thank you very much. I'll be back.
You are tuned in to
question. All right. So we're talking about respect, right? So the young person, a lot of them, feel like they don't owe you nothing if you're a stranger, especially if you're a stranger. Like, yeah, the respect I owe it to my parents. But the moment you're not in that circle, you're not my elder sister, my elder brother, my elder anything in the house, or my direct boss. Hello? Who are you? Like, I don't have to respect you. Okay, you can't query me. You can't correct me. You can't even be suggesting anything to me. So yeah. And then the older people feel like, if you are a younger person, whether you are my child, you're my relative or not, but you're younger, I can correct you. And you should take it. You should not talk back, correct you. If I ask you to do something, you can be really respectful at home. Very respectful. But when they're outside, the orientation is different because they also have an orientation from that same home. They've been taught that within this is your circle. This is where you get your last command from. It's from this circle. Anything outside this circle, you can now decide if you want to agree or not agree. And then parents actually are grooming their kids to be bold. A lot of parents want kids who are outspoken. They want kids who can express themselves anywhere, anytime. They don't want kids who are timid. And so how do we draw the line to help the young people know the when and the how to apply the boldness? When and how. And so, as a person, do you generally think that a young person who is bold is being rude? And yet again, as a parent, would you rather have an outspoken child or a timid one? Okay, maybe using the word timid is spoiling it for you. Timid, that's the word I want to use. Okay. And yeah, does it also amount to disrespect if a young person is bold when they are being queried, responds with boldness? Are you comfortable in what you're wearing? Yes, I'm comfortable. Does that amount to disrespect? Can you go get me this thing? I'll do it. Let me just finish what I'm doing. Does that amount to disrespect? All right, we'll be back after the news. Trending stories. Just stay tuned. Back now, 7 minutes gone past 1. Good afternoon. It's lunchtime officially. What are you having for lunch? Are you having lunch or are you fasting? I know some people are fasting. Yeah, it's the second half of the year. So some people do that second half of the year fast. So if you're one of those, keep it up. Keep going. Keep going. All right. Well, if you're not one of those and you've been eating indiscriminately, fasting is not only for when you want to pray. You can actually fast to lose weight. You can also fast to just discipline yourself. You can fast to read. All right? So you can decide, you know what? I'm fasting beer. I'll just fast beer every Sunday. That is, you can also fast to save money or to save yourself from some friendships that you don't want to be a part of anymore or relationships you don't want to be a part of anymore. So you can decide, you know what? I'm fasting beer so that I will not have to go and meet those my people. So if I tell them, this period, I beg, I know they take beer. Because that's the only thing that's going to take you there, right? So you can choose, you can decide that because you are fasting beer, you will not sit with them. So they will not talk all those things they used to talk that you don't like. So you can decide that, you know what? It seems like I'm eating too much chin-chin. Yeah, something as simple as that. I'm eating too much burger. I'm taking too much ice cream. I'm smoking a lot. Right? So you can just fast those things. Tell yourself, I'm fasting this thing. If there's one particular thing you know that you will be sleeping and it's as if someone will come and tap you. You will wake up and go and soak gari. Auntie, brother, you can fast soaking gari. Oh my God. Even if it's fish, fried fish. You know, you fry fishes and you keep in your freezer. And so you've developed a habit of eating it cold. Please start fasting fish, fried fish. And tell yourself, I'm fasting fried fish. Once it's so time, anything fried fish will not eat it. So I'm just basically telling you that fasting is not only when you want to pray. So you can join anyone who's fasting, even if you're not going to join them to pray. But do the fasting, it's going to help you, all right? Thank you very much. So yeah, we've been talking about cultural clash between the old and the young. And with regards to what we call respect, our cultures. Some people have branded it African culture. But I don't think it's an African culture thing. All right. There are places in Africa where some of the things we call respect here, to them, it's actually we being silly. I remember the day someone from Benin Republic told me that after he had stayed in Nigeria for a while and then he went back home and he had copied the culture of after eating, you greet people. They do not give you food though. They do not, And so he did that. And then his aunts, everybody started laughing like, wow, what is wrong with you? Why are you telling us thank you? Did we give you food? What? Why are you thanking everybody? What is wrong with you? You've gone to Nigeria to go and learn that thing they do there. Which one is you're thanking everybody? And yeah. So yeah. It's not a general African thing. Some of the things we have adopted or some of the things we have become a part of, or that has become a part of us over the years, over the centuries, and we've made it into a culture. All right? So it's not everywhere that it is the same thing. So there are also some cultures we had in times past that we have dropped because civilization has taught us that it was rubbish. Yeah, for example, child marriage. Not the whole of Nigeria, but some parts of Nigeria, very many parts of Nigeria, child marriage is now seen as, are you people okay? But before, it was a thing. In fact, when a baby girl is born, they're already looking for a husband for her. In fact, while the woman is still pregnant, the baby or the girl gets to the age of 12 or so, and but these days we frown at those things, right? Exactly. Okay, so back to the messages on Facebook. Day Bassi says, most people believe that when one is bold to express the issue the way it ought to be, it is disrespect. But it's not so. Though because of pride, when an expression is right, the boss will take it as disrespect and end up sacking the person. But the truth be told, it's not disrespect. All right, so the questions I'm asking are, does it amount to disrespect if a younger person is bold, even when they are being queried? And the second one is, do you see boldness from a junior person as rudeness? And the last one is, as a parent, would you rather have an outspoken child or a timid one? Okay, so I'm seeing another one here. Sam says, we are in a world where civilization has turned our culture to witchcraft. I remember when we were told as children not to talk while eating, that it is forbidden. We never asked why, but that was a local and cultural way our parents taught us table manners. So how about, why should I not talk while I'm eating? And then you explain to me that the reason I shouldn't talk while I'm eating is that you might choke. And then it doesn't look nice with food in your mouth. You're talking to people here. You know, I'm just saying. So this person is asking, did Mark Zuckerberg pipe low when he was a child? I beg you, Nigerian cultures are too rigid. Are you sure? Cliff Austin Rodriguez says, a younger person's boldness is not a problem, but the manner in which the boldness is expressed will determine. Boldness expressed in an arrogant way is a total definition of rudeness. I don't want a timid child. I will only teach my bold kids when, how, and ways to express him or herself boldly in a polite manner. All right. Thank you, Cliff. ID from Port Harcourt says, good afternoon, Constance. I have tried to train my daughter to be very bold, but not to disrespect people. She is bold and very intelligent, to the extent that when she was in primary 4, she related with her class teacher to that level where some people can consider to be an insult. But because of how she dealt with her teacher, the teacher called my attention to make me talk to her, to calm down on her boldness because of how others look at them when they are relating. You can be bold and not insultive. All right, ID, that's your message. And I'm looking at a long one here. Ooh. Okay, well, let's read. You can also send your messages, please. Send them via WhatsApp to 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. Or better still, head on to our social media platforms and drop your comments right there. On Facebook, we're Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, and then on Twitter, we're Nigeria Info PH. All right, good day, Constance. Culture is the normative behavior which those within a society practice. The way people behave in the past is culture of the people of the past. Culture is dynamic and is often influenced by anything we experience regularly, from social media to cartoons to movies and more. Olu Jacobs, I'm using him as an example because he's popular. Also, deterioration of cognitive abilities come with age. Olu Jacobs is suffering from dementia. In a situation where a younger person's cognitive abilities and comprehension of the environment they are both in is needed, should the younger person cower or boldly take control? Elders should be respected, but the need for the younger ones to cower before the elders is indicative of complexes hidden by the African culture. Respect is necessary, but the search for respect shows a little imbalance within the one searching for respect. Your name is David, and you're texting from Colombia, Eliozu. All right, David, thank you very much. And then back to what we see here on Facebook. All right, before that one, let's take a few calls now. 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0002. So why do some older people actually think it is disrespectful for a younger person to talk back at them? I personally find it shocking. You're asking me questions and then I answer you. Like, what am I supposed to do? I have to touch this now. Some madams do it to their house girls. You're talking to her and you're accusing her of things that she knows she did not do. And then she talks. You tell her to shut up. Oh, I'm talking, you are talking. I believe that at that point where you're asking questions, right? Opportunity, sir, I think everyone deserves it. So even if you choose not to take their response or their answer as truth, that's for you. But should they be allowed to answer? I think everyone should be allowed.
Good afternoon, Ashita.
Welcome to the show. Go ahead.
There's this saying that it goes like this: that the younger ones thought that the old ones are fools, but the old ones know that the younger ones are fools. You know, something happens sometime, and a father asks his child, will you be able to tell? If the child will be able to tell him the color of clothes that they put on him the first day he was born, the child couldn't answer that question. So there is every tendency for a younger one to respect the elder one, because when small pikin go climb tree, see, both men will sit down here. So for that person to send for an errand, you don't need to give any excuse. Do it with immediate effect.
Really?
Civilization is not a yardstick for younger ones to disrespect the older ones. Thank you, a double problem.
Just like you brought in a military home, you know, in a barrack or something. Reminds me of the example Mr. Zion brought up, something in the Bible, right? One of the parables that Jesus gave. 2 sons and a father. Help me do this. And the boy says, Papa Bego, I want to go play football. What's all this? I cannot, though. I cannot. It's not me that used to go and be washing cars on Fridays. I used to wash cars on Sunday mornings. I cannot. I want to go and play ball. And then he asks the other child. And he says, oh, yeah, I will do it. And at the end of the day, it's the same person who says, I want to go and play ball, that actually washed his car. And at the end of the day, the person who was tagged disrespectful and dishonorable was the one who said, I would do it, but he didn't do it. But the one who said, I'm not doing it, and then he did it, he was given his flowers. So I don't know what you want to make of this particular story I just shared. Oh, really? Is that a network problem? Because it sounded like you did present auntie, and then I'm sure it's a network problem. Hi, Ida from Nkoro. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. I want to thank you for this topic very, very well. It's a very good topic.
Okay.
Somebody accused me in the office when my boss called me. And he said, I'm talking, you're talking. He did not allow me to even explain. Now he heard from the other person. Now the other person wants to talk. Don't demand your boss. When I'm talking, you're talking. So this topic, if you can repeat this topic every day, and I urge our bosses to please listen to this radio station so that they will learn. Not when the other person wants to speak, boss, you're a senior, but you're feeding that person or you're paying that person. You don't want the person to talk, to hear from the person. That thing is making people to go down every day. Hear from the two persons so that you pass your judgment, not to hear from one person pass your judgment. The other person might get angry with you and get bitter with you. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Chris from Rumogba. Hi, Chris.
Yes, good afternoon, Constance.
Good afternoon. Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, I think I prefer a child to be bold, but at the same time, the child must understand the difference between being bold and being arrogant and insubordinate. You understand?
Okay. Yeah.
They must be able to differentiate arrogance, insubordination, and being bold. You have a typical example in the Bible where Jesus was found by the parents after about 3 days now in the temple where he sat with the lawyers and was asking them questions and making contributions. They didn't feel insulted. They were surprised that a 12-year-old child knew this much and asked constructively. That is wisdom. So it's different from what we see presently in our society, where a child doesn't know the difference between respecting an elder and the way to talk to elders. These are
you sure?
traditions that our people. Go ahead.
Yeah, because that particular example you gave, it was in the same story, right? I mean, let's look at it from the angle of the parents. You know, we read the Bible because we've been shown the entire story. So we're looking at it from an angle of parents that are looking for their kids for like 3 days. And then they show up and see the child. This child is not even saying, I'm sorry, I was here, Len, I'm sorry, I didn't even know when people were leaving. And he says that he had to be there or something. I can't even remember the way Jesus answered them. But
he said to them, shouldn't you know I should be in my father's house?
Exactly. Was that not disrespectful?
In other words, he expected his parents to be aware that this is where to look for him, not everywhere. If my child is somebody who plays football, he was right. But maybe the way he put it across was not as respectful as we expect it to be. But
from the way we are talking, right? From the conversation.
The child that stays around the church and all that. So he was trying to make a point. And of course, you know that we can't really be like Jesus because it took him so much to bring himself to that level, being God, living among men.
So I'm trying to look away from Mr. Chris, can you hear me? So I'm trying to look away from, because when we read the Bible, it's just like when you read a story or when you watch a movie, you're seeing every angle.
Yeah.
All right? So here is a child. Yes, we went for church program. Crusade has finished. It's time to go home. We have all rushed and entered one coaster bus that they provided free bus, and we've gone home. And you're not with us. Yeah. And then we now have to pay transport to come back. And you say you are doing what? You're learning to play keyboard. Don't you people know that you will see me in the choir department? Are you mad? You have the temerity to be talking.
Yes, I understand. But we're talking about God in human flesh here.
We are all gods as well.
Human beings to human beings. Because the mother already knew who this person is.
Yeah, the mother of this child I'm also giving as an example knows too. They know him. He loves music.
About the place where he said, woman, my time has not come.
So Jesus was actually rude. We are learning from him. Please, we're going on a commercial break, Mr. Chris. All right, thank you.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to 9G.
You felt like Jesus was actually disrespectful. But hey, if you look at it seriously, this child is supposed to have gone home with parents, and now they've come back. It's like 3 days to come from them. Which part is they all slap your baby for? All right, this here on Facebook. Well, see your post. If you're here, please, you were wrong. Boldness shows your truthfulness. In my place, there's an idiom that I take against voice. Okay. 017-0007. 81923-0007. Ben is calling from Port Harcourt. Hello, Ben.
I can stay on the line, right?
Yes, you are on air. Hi, Ben.
Oh, yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I so much appreciate you for this topic you bring this afternoon.
You should come and spray me money.
From the angle and both children. There's one lecture I attended sometime.
Okay.
And they taught us about British core skill. And that core skill says that students.
Thanks. Good afternoon. They are meeting is no, it is not. Even at my age, I find it difficult even to bring my female friends to my house.
That's
where my parents are. Who are you? Who gives you the eye? No matter the amount of things you have acquired, you have made, you dare not try it. But today, people are of boldness. You see them even doing unnecessary things, even before their parents, and people say, hey, this is their age. No. So, some of the things we do today, we think is boldness. It's disrespectful to the culture where we belong. And it is what is putting the society in the where we find ourselves today, where you see people that can hold, do all sorts of things, move together. They don't care whether there's an elderly person around them or even their parents are coming for them. Doesn't matter. So we must allow the culture to play its role, even though we must follow the civilization we find. But culture should come first, so that when we apply the civilization we have seen somewhere, the two of them will work together for the betterment of the society. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So when he was talking about a child taking a piece of meat while eating with the parents, and he saw it as a mark of disrespect, I was going to ask him, what if this child was actually brought up to eat the meat first while eating with the parents? What if it's the parents that encouraged the child to eat the meat? And for them, in their home, it is not disrespectful. So sometimes I also feel that sometimes people like to generalize and impose on every other person something that is just for them. It's not for all of us. Yeah, you were brought up in a home in a certain way. It does not mean that me too, I should follow suit. I don't live with you. I don't mingle with you. We just met somewhere and you expect me to do as you do. So because you are a Yoruba person and the way you people greet your elders is to dobale, prostrate. So because I'm a younger person, I should prostrate when I'm greeting you? Oh no, darling. I'm not from your place. No, I'm not. Where I'm from, we don't do that. And I do not see it as a mark of disrespect. My people don't even see it as a mark of disrespect when I stand to greet an elderly person. So if where you come from, it is disrespectful for a child to respond, especially when you are accusing the child of something, because you feel you are sure that the child did it, but the child knows they didn't do it. You should also know that this child came from somewhere. And where they come from, or where this child comes from, or this younger person comes from, it might not be a sign of disrespect to respond when they are being queried. All right? Sometimes some of the gra-gra that we do is because we've held on to things that will even fade. It's our culture, You don't do it. Why are you fighting? Calm down. You might even make a jest out of it. The way you're dressed, it's like you don't have money to buy full clothes to cover your body. I'm just saying. Nobody should come for me. All right? Being bold is good, but let's add respect to it. Boldness without respect is insult. All right. Okay, what's this hanging? I need to read messages before I run off now. Come on. Don't be like this. Okay, this person just sends P. What's the meaning of P? Good afternoon, Constance. Some Nigerians are confused. When their children speak, it is boldness. But when other people's children speak, the same thing, it is rudeness. My lecturer was happy for what his child of 6 years did. But when I, as an adult student, did it, that was like heaven will fall. So let's talk to ourselves, please. Thank you. All right. Training your child to be bold is helpful, especially to the female, to help them stand up against some men that will want to defile them. Timid children fall victims to this a lot. And I hope someone is listening to this one. In Yoruba land, you don't talk when someone older than you is talking. That is disrespectful. You bow down your head and listen, then apologize. Even if the elders are wrong. Ayo, Mike. Ayo. That's how a young girl will say, he defiled me. And they say, shut up! You are talking. How can you see you don't have respect? Oh, yeah, kneel down and apologize to him. Oh, really? Really? And then you have a lot of bitter people in the society. Yeah. Umas from Enugu says there is a thin line between being bold and being rude, so parents should be able to train their children on how to be properly bold, especially while talking to older people. The tone, facial expressions, and gestures while talking defines it as being bold or rude. Yeah, it still comes back to the how and the when. That's just it. All right, you see how confused culture is? Which culture is America, where we run to leave culture and be civilized? All right, gotta go. Did I miss any messages on anywhere? Facebook? Twitter? I hope I did not. So thank you very much for having this conversation with me. And I'm sure you know what is right, so do what is right, okay? Live and let live. That's all I'm going to say. And the last part where people have talked about training our children to be bold but not disrespectful. It is very, very important. Train your kids not to be disrespectful, really. All right? They should be outspoken. They should talk when things are not going the way they want it. But they should also listen and learn and know when to open their mouth and when not to. Okay? Don't also be that parent who would rebuke the person who is rebuking your child who is misbehaving. Don't be that parent. If you have been that parent, stop it. It's not nice. Okay? There are some parents who would go after the house girl because she's correcting a young child who is obviously misbehaving. And then the child grows up like that. So don't be that parent. Thank you very much. Gotta go. All right. So I have water prompt coming up pretty soon. And then 2 o'clock we'll bring you the news. Just stay tuned. Some good music. And we'll be back.